Welcome into your PFF Draft Recap, powered by PFF Elite. It's all about the Dallas Cowboys today, Sam. And after going through every snap of the FBS for 4 straight years, because that's what we do here in PFF, every single player, every snap, we loved the results of this Cowboys draft. One of our favorite drafts, top to bottom, in the NFL.
This is an outstanding draft. I think they made some really interesting selections at the top, not necessarily filling big holes or areas of need, but getting really top quality players that can make an impact because of that. I absolutely love this draft.
Let's start with round 1. Leighton Vander Esch out of Boise State. I mean, they've just continued to add very good all-around coverage players to that back 7 in Dallas. And when you add Vander Esch to Sean Lee at the linebacker level and, Jalen Smith, who just may never get back to that unbelievable athleticism that he had previously, I think it fits a need. I think it fits what they really want to do defensively, which was convert more from this man-heavy scheme that they ran in 2016, started to run more zone last year. I think it's going to be a more zone-heavy team again next year under Rod Marinelli. That's what he wants to do, and Vander Esch has that range that you need in the middle of the defense.
Yeah, Vander Esch was our number 2 ranked linebacker in this entire draft class. The only one ahead was Roquan Smith, who is this proven entity when it comes to coverage. Vander Esch is a lot more of an unknown when it comes to that. He's only played 1,100 odd snaps in college, actually significantly less experience in terms of playing time than Roquan Smith or Tremaine Edmonds, the other linebacker that everybody had at the top of this draft class. But his impact in year 1 for Boise State was incredible. Best run stop percentage of any linebacker last season, led the nation in terms of defensive stops, and not just tackles, but tackles that were happening in and around the line of scrimmage, ones that made an impact for the defense. 47 run tackles last year that gained 2 yards or less. That is incredible. It's 4 more than anybody else in this draft class. He made an incredible impact at the line of scrimmage. The only question for him is, what can he do in coverage? Because it's the weaker part of his game so far, but it's also the area that takes the longest for a linebacker to get when it comes with experience. He reminds me an awful lot of Luke Kuechly in his rookie year in the NFL. He was fantastic coming forward, dominating at the line of scrimmage, sifting his way through traffic, making tackles, always around the ball. Pretty good on anything in coverage in front of him, screens, anything that developed that he could see it. Struggled a little bit more when he had to drop off the line, figure out pass patterns coming in behind him, and just occupy the right area in zones. That's, I think, what you've got right now in Leighton Vander Esch. And the only question is, how much of that last aspect can he get better at? How good is he going to get in coverage? Because Kuechly improved from, struggling a little bit there to the best in the NFL at it.
Don't get expectations too high for Cowboys fans here. Luke Kuechly is the prototype NFL linebacker right now, but Vander Esch could get there. We do like him quite a bit. I do love watching him in the run game. I know we don't care about the run game as much as coverage, but his ability to take on blocks, sift through the trash, as you said, really fun to watch on film. So we like Leighton Vander Esch. We love the fit for Dallas in the first round. And then second round pick, Connor Williams, a guy that we had as a mid to late first round type of player and a tackle in our world. He's got 3 years of tackle under his belt at Texas. A lot of the NFL liked him as a guard. I do think he'll start out at right tackle for Dallas, and if he had to land in there at left guard, that's fine. But that's kind of the story of this Dallas offensive line here, right? You've got 3 all-pros, Tyron Smith at left tackle, Travis Frederick at center, Zach Martin at right guard. They've been trying to figure out left guard and right tackle these last couple of years. If Connor Williams can step in and play right tackle, move Lyle Collins back into left guard where he really did struggle last year, this offensive line that has been known as the league's best and was the league's best in 2016 or right about there, they're back to being the number 1 O-line in the league.
I think the great thing for this pick is it doesn't really matter for them whether he's going to be a guard or a tackle at the next level because they need to solve both of those positions. They just need to figure out now which way round makes the most sense, whether it's Connor Williams at right tackle or Lyle Collins at right tackle and the other one plays left guard. And I think either way around, it's going to be an upgrade for them because he's going to be better than the player that's getting removed from that equation. But when you look at his tackle performance, he's been fantastic since 2015, 932 pass blocking snaps, allowed just 27 total pressures. Only 2 guys did better than that, and one of them is Forrest Lamp, a guy we were extremely high on last year.
Please refer to him as the great Forrest Lamp.
The great Forrest Lamp, who missed all of his rookie season, hurt, tearing his knee almost immediately after arriving into camp with the Los Angeles Chargers. But those are 2 guys that have been fantastic when it comes to pass blocking. And at right tackle, I really like his chances of nailing down that role.
Yes, sandwiched around a couple second-round picks on that list. And Williams' whole career at Texas, I mean, he stepped in as a true freshman and played well. And you just don't see that from offensive linemen. The more we see our college data, true freshmen, they struggle most of the time. And his sophomore year was incredible. Only gave up 4 pressures that entire year. Struggled a little bit in 2017, then battled injuries. So he's had, I think that's why he dropped a little bit. If he had another exceptional 2017 season, perhaps he was a first-round player. And that's why I think he's still the same guy. He still has unbelievable movement skills. Maybe he has to work on his true pass protection technique, but has all the skills to be an elite pass protector at the next level. So really like that pick for the Cowboys. Also, because we have to talk about the run game a little bit, Connor Williams is just a joy to watch in the run game. Crushes linebackers, gets to the second level extremely well. So another nice addition for Dallas. I want to skip forward to the 5th round. Mike White, quarterback. I know they already have... What's that?
Your guy.
It is my guy. Throughout the entire process, I kept highlighting Mike White as maybe a potential 3rd-round pick, so I think getting him in the 5th is great. Makes NFL-type throws. He was one of the best in our charting data, throwing to guys with a step of separation, which is that was where Dak Prescott actually led the draft class a couple years ago. So Mike White was the best, throwing to guys with a step of separation, much like Dak 2 years ago. Worked well for Dak, might work well for Mike White. It is actually one of our most telling, predictive numbers when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks.
Are you telling me the Cowboys are working from the PFF draft guide as well?
They're working directly from the PFF draft guide. You can be too if you have PFF Edge and Elite. There was a lot of teams doing that, Sam. There was a lot of teams pulling out numbers from that guide, using them in press conferences. And if we do a little detective research, yeah, you can kind of see the connection with the Cowboys.
And it's not just Mike White. We've got a couple of PFF receivers that they took in this draft as well. Michael Gallup and Cedric Wilson out of Boise State. 2 guys, they were our number 1 and number 3 graded wide receivers last season. Michael Gallup had a 92.0, Cedric Wilson with an 89.0. These guys were both fantastic receivers. Neither one of them is quite the athletic superstar that everybody's looking for when they're looking for NFL wide receivers, but they both do a lot of things extremely well. Michael Gallup is this fantastic route runner, can win contested catches, can make adjustments on inaccurate throws. Cedric Wilson's a little taller guy, is really good at these contested catches. If both these guys have a flaw, it's that neither one of them is fantastic at generating a huge amount of separation, but they're very good at offsetting that by all the good things they are able to do.
They know how to separate late, though. You know, Gallup uses his hands pretty well, and Wilson, he does a nice job outside and in the slot. So again, they're kind of PFF guys, right? They're not those incredible athletes. They just produced on the field and multiple years in a row. I mean, Gallup last year, number 2 in yards per route in the nation, which is probably the best stat that we have here in the draft guide and as a part of all of our information, is just a pure production measure for a wide receiver. And Cedric Wilson was number 7 in the draft class in yards per route last year. So 2 guys that just produce on the field.
And if you're concerned by the step up in competition, Colorado State for Michael Gallup, Boise State for Cedric Wilson, both these guys were at the Senior Bowl and stood out. They both had some big plays during that week. Cedric Wilson in particular caught my eye with a couple of fantastic plays during team drills. And these guys have shown that they're able to go to the Senior Bowl where the level of competition is higher, an all-star game, and still excel, still show that they're able to get it done.
And of course, right out of the draft guide, Cedric Wilson led all FBS receivers with 4.58 yards per route against Power 5 competition. So when he did have to step it up, that's yards every time he's running a route. That's incredible production against good competition.
He was the guy we had as a 2nd-round kind of talent. The Cowboys got him in the 6th. Steal.
Yes. Yeah, that's a steal. Wilson and Gallup, 2 steals. We really like Connor Williams. Love Vander Esch. Any other names that stood out on this list for the Cowboys in their draft?
Almost the Cowboys' entire draft is a team of superstars. This may be the best draft any team had.
We gave it an elite rating over at ProFootballFocus.com. So there you have it, your Dallas Cowboys PFF draft review powered by PFF Elite.